Do you find the people that are the best technicians are more the analytical or more of the, what's the best mindset to be a good technician? Like, is that someone, because I mean, that's attention to detail. You want that, but you also want someone that can relate to customers. You seem like you're very eye-oriented. You're very communicative. You're very good at speaking. And
from the disc profile? Yes, I am.
Yeah.
I'm partially D is what I have to be.
Yeah.
In my personal life, I'm full I.
Yeah.
But in business, I have to be more, still I, but more toward the D.
Yeah. You guys familiar with the disc?
I'm not familiar with that. That kind of caught me off guard. What
You
is
should
that?
learn it. It's one of the best personality typing tools that are out there. DISC. If you know how to speak to a D, you are I use it. I use my skills for good, not for evil. It's because I'm a professional communicator, and my job is to be able to speak your language. And if I can't speak to you in a way that's going to build rapport and trust, then I am failing at my job.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just important that when I'm speaking to someone, I can look at them and be like, this is a high
Kind of
I.
match their energy in a way.
I bet he's an 70 to 80 I, which is pretty high I, and he's got a strong D component for his management skills. If you can start thinking that way, and you're meeting these technicians, like I'm always curious to know, like, the best real estate agent, I know what their type is. The best this, I know what their type is, and I've been, because I'm conscious of this type of thinking, profiling people. I'm curious to know what you're typing.
For sure, and you have to consciously think about that. And a lot of times I want to do it naturally and say, no, I don't need those things. I can figure it out on my own. But it's very helpful when you think about it. Like a D is a dominant person. They're really decisive. They're very alpha in a way. Like they're just very like, I just need to know the information. And
Don't give me the details.
Don't give me the details. Just
I don't want to hear your story.
Yeah,
don't tell me how you feel about it.
Is it fixed?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Give me my keys. I'm gonna fuck off. Eyes. For the most part, I am a high I, but I don't relate to a lot of I's because they just tell stories for a long time. I want it to be to the point. That's where my D comes in. I'm like, I want it to be to the point, though, not just rambling.
So you're probably like right on the board. Your D and I is probably really close.
Yeah, I'm right there. And then you have S, steady, or C, conscientious. And usually the S's are more reserved but very good employees. A lot of times they're very good employees.
Not good communicators.
Not good communicators.
Great detail. They're going to get in there and just get the job done, and it will be done perfectly. You can't give them a problem to solve, though. You have to give them, here's what's going to happen. Here's the number of bolts that it's going to take, and get to work and give them the book and write down.
Go through it.
Yeah, not me. I'm not that guy. And then go ahead with the C. Sorry.
And then C, conscientious. So we're talking C's. Most of the time, I hate to group anyone into like specifically this group, but C's are going to be like your CFOs, your controllers, your accountant people that are really sticklers on the details. They're the people that really want to know. So you repaired my car, but what are these 74 other things you did? You're like, well, we had to have all the bolts, all the gaskets, all the things. Even if they don't know what the hell you're telling them, they want to know.
Yeah.
And if
they'll read the whole contract. They'll front to back. They'll read the whole contract.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if you're high I or D, it's hard to get along with certain people. Like when they really want to know all the details, you're like, "It's fixed. Can you just
sign the paper?
Go away."
Yeah. Oh my God, we're still reading the contract.
We're still reading it. Yeah, like, do you read your iTunes acknowledgement? Do you do that? Because if you do, I'd slap you in the back of the head.
But if you really want to, and they're very low, they're like about 25% of the population. The C's are very low out there. But if you want to build rapport with them, you have to take that time. I have to show up, and I'm going to go through every detail with you of the contract, and I'm going to go over every number. And here's the net, and here's that, and here's that, and here's that, and here's why. They want to know all that information, and if I can't communicate that clearly, again, I'm failing at my job. Yeah.
Yep,
So-
and it's your fault. I mean, if you internalize it that way, you can blame everyone else if you want, because people do that, or you can internalize it and try to be better and adjust to everyone's. I mean, everyone's leadership skill is going to be different, but no matter what quadrant you're in, DISC or whatever, the 8 leadership skills from those books. You still have the best leaders adapt to every personality as best as possible. It never works out perfectly, and there's some people you clash with no matter what.
Right.
And if you deal with them on a daily basis, it's really frustrating if you have someone that's like completely opposite of you. It really is. But back to your question of what technicians that I hire, I don't obviously hire them based on their personality because I just have to deal with what I get. I would say the D and C would be the best. Those two, because the conscientious people, they're a lot slower. they do the work really well.
Yeah,
So
ready, aim, shoot.
They usually
meticulous.
don't make a ton of money. They're not the producers. The D's and even the S's too, because they're steady. They just have a workflow. I would honestly say just someone that has an attitude of just give me the next thing I have to do, whether it's shitty or wonderful. If it's a great paying job or if it's a terrible one, and you know it when you see it. Everyone knows. Oh, I don't want to do billing. I don't want to talk to this guy that's a jerk that never pays his bill in the accounting department or the legal department.
Right.
But if you just do the shitty job and get through it, you know the next one or two are going to be a good one and you're going to make your money. The people that just don't focus on the job, they focus on their whole day, their whole week, those are the successful people. The people that are just one job at a time and they flip out over one job and then get happy over the next one, they're not going to last very long. It's too much of an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah.
And I see it all the time. I'm like, just calm down. Take this next one and just don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Look at this guy. He went through the crappy work and now he made 100 hours this week and you made 60 because you stood around for an hour bitching about the one thing you had to do.
Campaigning.
Yeah. To no one. They're yelling at themselves. They're just frustrated themselves. Like, stop doing that.
Yeah.
You're not helping anyone and you're only hurting yourself.
Yep.
And just a note for the listeners, if you have an opportunity to study the DISC, I have to tell you it's the greatest leadership skill that I've ever learned. Of all the things that I've learned, and there's a lot, but the ability to communicate to people more effectively, because ultimately you still have to get the job done, regardless of their style. Right. You still have to get the job done. Yep. I just need to communicate that to you in the best way to get it done. And so it's just really important. I can't say that enough.
Yeah, that makes a lot
I
of
agree.
sense.
When you first get into it, you don't think that in a way, right? Like everything's new, the change is odd. Like I don't think of people in those terms. I do it naturally. It's all right, but it's very cool to study and try to pick out what a certain person's personality type is so that you know how to deal with them. Yeah. And they do. And for the most part, sometimes people, they don't even reveal themselves or what they really are for a while. And then they do something that you're like,
got it.
I know what that guy is.
Got it.
100%.
Gotcha, buddy.
Yeah.
Dialed. Yeah. I'm a 99I. I'm the highest I I've ever met.
Really?
Yeah. I've never met another one that's at a 99. I'm a 60D, so I've got that driver mentality. But man, I love to tell a story, but not to the point where it's just like, what is he talking about? You know what I mean? Maybe sometimes, depending on how many beers I've had.
Well, there's a difference in storytellers, right? Like for me, I feel like if you go, "Hey, Costco's on fire," you're like, "What? What the fuck happened?"
Yeah.
And they go, "Well, I turned left on 3rd West, and what I did is I stopped at my dry cleaners," and you're like, "Why is it on fire?"
Get to the fire. Yeah.
I love the stories,
Yeah.
but just tell me the actual point of the story. Don't do the stupid details.
Yeah. That's awesome. With the D, the thing that's interesting, that's something you would appreciate is like, here's the problem. Here's your 3 choices. Give me your best one. And D's know immediately, oh, that's easy. This one's what I want to do. There's no hesitation. And so I really appreciate a good D. And that sounds terrible.
Wait, hold on.
You like a good D, do ya?
As soon as I said that, I knew I was catching hell for that.
Me too, though.
Your eye came out there a little bit.
We're 100%.
Yeah.
We're 100% on the same wavelength there.
Yeah.
Because I like
point.
decision makers.
Yeah.
I like when it's just make a decision. I tell my employees that, my guys that are my advisors, the people that have to make decisions all day long. I'm like, I'm not going to micromanage you, and I'm giving you authority to do this and to do this. If it's up to this much money, just do it. I don't care. Don't ask me. Make a decision. If it's wrong, we'll discuss it. I'm not going to yell at you. I don't do that. That's not my style. I don't yell at people.
We won't do it again.
Just don't do that again.
Yeah.
That was a weird decision. I don't know why you did that. But at least you did it. I affirm them, too. I just say, hey, you know what? At least you did it. Thank you for at least trying and going, okay, now we know this is why it was not the right decision, because financially this just sucked for everyone. This wasn't good.
Yeah.
So
Interesting stuff. So check it out if you have an
I'm
opportunity.
Check this out.
Yeah, it's good
I
stuff.
Absolutely am.
There's you can take a free test at the Tony Robbins website. Take the test to test yourself. So the first key in personality typing is knowing who you are.
Yeah.
And where my strengths are, and then also knowing where my weaknesses. Because as a high I have a weakness. I have a tendency to go on. I can go on, and then there's opportunities for me to that goes too far, and so I have to be. If I'm conscious of that, then I can work on that. Because I've met eyes in the wild, and man, they just won't shut up. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. You love motorcycles. That's awesome.
Totally.
But
Because you have stuff to do. You're like, it's still important. Like, I got to get my stuff done.
Yeah.
And it's really funny. My last training that I was at, we got to see, like, we had to put stuff on a whiteboard and go come up with our ideas. And we looked at our board. It was a group of I's, D's, S's, and C's. And you saw everyone's board was like D, S, and C were all these, like, bullet points, everything. Our board was a shit show.
It's like pictures.
Just we're like, oh, that idea, cool. Men working. We just wrote it and then wrote something else. Like, it was just this serial killer notebook. We're like, and the whole group's like, those are eyes. Yeah, we totally are. And I look at my desk and I'm like, I do that. My notes are like I go, it's a memory thing. I just go, all right, I just need that. I need that note there.
Yeah,
I need that note there. I don't care if it's in line. I just go, I need that note.
Yep.
Yeah, but it's there.
And I look, all of a sudden I'll turn. I'm like, oh yeah, Mr. Johnson. I got to call him.
You're like upside down.
Yeah.
No wonder I missed that shipment.
Oh, it drives people nuts too. Like, come in, they're like, what is all this scribbling? I'm like, I know exactly what all that stuff is. You just leave my stuff alone.
Don't move
touch
that.
it. Don't
touch
look
it.
at it.
Orientation is very important.
Well, I thought that I could always communicate well with everybody, but when I learned more about what the C's were, I've never been good at C's or S's. I struggle with those guys because they get hung up in the details. Where I'm just like,
And move
buy the
on.
house already, for God's
Yeah.
sakes. This,
I'm a big
this
C
checks
guy.
all the boxes.
You are?
Yeah.
It's-
I haven't actually done that. I just can tell you I'm a big C guy.
Yeah, you are. I can absolutely agree with you, and that's why you're good at editing and the scripting and all of the detail that you put into it. Because I don't care. I wished I did. I wish that I was better at that, but I am not. And once I realize that, then I'm going to find me a good C.
Yep.
And the thing that I like about it is there's not a good or bad. There's all of it's good.
Yeah.
But you've got to partner with those
channeling
people.
it. Yeah. Harnessing it.
Yeah, and it's just like, I'm going to build a team, and this is what I need. And in my team, I need to find someone that is a detail-oriented person, because I am not. And I've got my director of operations, man, she drives me nuts. But she thinks about stuff I don't think about, thank God. You know what I mean? I'm glad she's doing it.
And you can't put someone that you, like, say, like, we work together, right? You can't put me in that role, because I'm like, I just, like you, I'm like, I don't want to do that.
You'd be unhappy.
That section of the business is not what drives me. I'm here to make the money, make it work, but I'm not doing the weird things that I just don't want to do. I'm not sitting down and making a detailed spreadsheet for all of the things and putting everything in color categories and all that. I'm not doing that. Even though I look at it and go, that's super cool. You did that.
That guy right there.
It's easy for me to see. Yeah, let's have the colorblind guy do that.
Don't worry about the colors, but the spreadsheet is there.
Yeah, it's kind of a pivot table that I don't even know what that means.
And it's super cool, right? You see it and you're like, that's really neat.
like
I'm
it.
glad you did that.
Yeah.
I'm glad I have the info. That's all I need. So,
Right.
See you later. Thanks for spending 24 hours, and I took 7 seconds to go, that's awesome.
Yeah, done. That means we're going to do option A. Thank you very much.
That's
The thing I appreciate about your position as the manager of this group of people is, as a big picture guy, your business is coming to you and they're saying, here's the bottom lines, and you're like, cool, I can work on those things. You can take all of those things and put them together and make that happen, because you're a big picture guy. You're making those things happen. You're not in the trenches with the and I'm sure you do. I'm sure you have to know with that, because we all do. But
I'm too much in there, to be honest with you.
Really?
My owner and my GM are both like, they're like, hey, we don't have any service directors or managers that are like out helping people fill up their tires and out giving people advice out in the parking lot and getting down underneath the car and helping someone do something. None of our guys do that. You do. It takes away from some of the stuff we want you to do in meetings and being prepared for fiscal reports and to answer all of our questions here. But you keep it running really well to where those numbers stay up where they're supposed to be, that we think it's cool. It's a different way of doing it, and I appreciate that they let me do it.
yeah,
Nobody yells at me for it. I just get to decide, like, and I know you know when you're slacking in things, when you're like, hey, I've been spending way too much time out here doing this. I'm neglecting all the things that I have to do here. I got to get back in here for an hour and do this, or else I get anxiety. Like, I got to make sure this is right and my world's right, and then I can go help people and do what I love to do.
Yeah.
I love that. Have you ever read the book Rocket Fuel?
I haven't.
The book Rocket Fuel is based on personality typing and aligning strategically. And it talks about the greatest businesses in the world, like, the
Apple.
Apple,
Exactly.
Yeah,
that.
where you had this an implementer, and then you
Yeah.
had a big dreamer, a communicator, and
Yeah.
the implementer. And if one wouldn't be successful without the other, and so we need one another. And I really love that book. The part that I like best about it is it really made me feel, because I always like kind of look. You always look down on what you're good at, and you always look to like trying to improve into the area that you want. That's how we're made. That's how we're in school. Like, get better at spelling. I'm great at math, but my spelling is shit. You know what I mean? But what do I worry about? My spelling. And what it really made me appreciate is like I'm a master level at my one thing. I need to find other people who are master levels at their one thing that I'm not good at, and I need to stay out of their way. The more that I do that, the better my life becomes. Like, and I think that's a little bit of wisdom, because I'm giving up some ego. I don't think people can do it as well as me, to be honest with you. Can people do it as well as you? No, they cannot, because I really care, but they actually can. It's even though it's not my way,
Right.
they can do it better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think there's a lot of wisdom in that. Enough about the disc. Gosh, that was a tangent there.
Yeah, but it's more than just business, though. It's life in general too. It
Oh,
really
yeah.
helps you deal with, like, you don't want to analyze your buddies while you're drinking beer and hanging out, but like it's still cool to like say, okay, if we're going on a road trip, we're going to be good friends. I need to know how you react to things and how you are on a road trip with me, because I don't want to because I also am a facilitator. Like I want everyone to be happy, like when we're doing stuff. Like, hey, what makes you happy? If we're talking about stories that you don't care about, that run on forever and it's pissing you off, you're not having a good time. I want everyone to have a good time. So I want to know, if I'm telling you a story, I want to be like, hey, here's what happened. Cool. Now we communicate. Let's just drink beer. Telling you a story. All right, so this is what happened.
Yeah.
And all these things.
Yeah.
I don't even want to tell you this story because it's boring me as I tell you. but you just do it.
It's true. I'm a better husband because I know my wife's this type. I know her type, and so I know what really grinds her gears. I know that's not a battle I want to choose, because that's how she doesn't communicate. She doesn't communicate that way. That's not her thing. And my daughters, I've got 4 daughters, and they're all distinctly a type. It's crazy that they all come from the same genetic pool, but they're all their own type.
Yeah.
And
4 daughters. Any boys?
No.
You're the only outnumbered male.
That's where the chrome
Wait,
comes
you've got
from.
one of each? You got a full disc of your daughters?
I've got all 4 discs.
You got all 4?
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting, and it's bananas to think that they're so incredibly different from the same genetic pool. But this doesn't motivate her. I could ground her for that, and she's like, meh, okay. I'll see you when I'm done being grounded. You know, it doesn't work that way with her. I have to pick the thing that works for her, and knowing her type has just given me this.
It's wild too. I think about that even growing up. Like, being grounded for me was the worst thing. Like, you're gonna lock me in my room. This sucks so bad. I never want to be grounded ever again. I hate it.
Yeah.
What can I do? Please don't ever ground me again. My little brother, they're like, you're grounded. He's like, cool, let's play Mario for like 7 hours.
I'm good. Yeah.
Hey, and I'm like, what are you doing? Aren't you mad that you're grounded? Not at all.
Yeah.
All right.
So for people like you and I, you could see your friends out riding their bicycles, and that would drive me nuts. Like, I'm stuck in my room, and these guys are out playing and having a good time. What? It was terrible, but my sister was the same. Great, I'll read for the whole time. Oh, what? Like books? I've become more that way, but she did not care. It was amazing. Anyway, get to know it. Get to know typing. I think I like the disc because it's the easiest. There's a lot. The Braxton. There's
Braxton Hicks, I think, something like that.
Something like that.
Whatever.
Yeah, I think
There's 8 personality types in that one, and
Yep.
that gets pretty complicated. And then you've got the wings, and there's all kinds of different personality typing. I pick one that you like really relates and go on that one.
Braxton Hicks
Is like when you're having a baby. Yeah. That's not it. It's a Briggs and Stratton. Briggs and Stratton. No, that's a motor. It's a lawnmower.
Yeah. See, I'm really into cars and engines.
Yeah.
I knew the answer to that.
I'm gonna think of it. You should be Googling that, Scott. That's your job.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Jesus.
Fucking Googling guy over here.
Google dumbasses and see if all 4 of us are there.
Let's see my picture.
If you Google
Dumbass.
dumbasses, this live stream pops up right
There it is. There we are. All right. Anyway, good stuff.